Well, hello and good morning. Thank you for coming and joining me in my shop this morning. It's April 4th, another day with this radio. Now, the picture has changed. I don't know if it's changed for the better, but it's changed. So, a couple things. Tried to align this radio, encountered a vicious oscillation in the IF, hunted for reasons that could happen, couldn't find any really. But discovered that this antenna is probably not the original antenna. Probably somebody added that in. Could be the original antenna was a loop antenna, but the schematic suggests not. It's just kind of a weird story there, whether there was a loop antenna originally on the back of this radio or not. And then yesterday I discovered that the tube voltages were elevated, the tube heater voltages, so they should be 12 volts, or maybe 12.6 is the actual true voltage, but they're running around 14.5. And I discovered that there was originally a resistor in this position. That was a compensating resistor, which had, and this is a little weird, I'd have to look again, I can't believe what I'm remembering. High resistance when it's cold and low resistance when it's hot. Yeah, that's right. That's the way it would work. Did some calculations and finally settled on the 250 ohm resistor because this is the size I have. It's not quite the right size. Voltages now are a little low on these tubes, so it's not low enough to be concerned about, I don't think. And during the last few things I didn't notice any oscillation at all in the radio. Now, some of these radios will oscillate when you tune the IFs right up. And the solution to that, and I've read this in a book, is to just detune these a little bit and you can get rid of the oscillation. Yeah, okay. Don't know if that's really where we're heading with this, but I think at this point the IF is probably not tuned as sharply as it could be. So we're going to start with alignment this morning. I'm just going to attempt to do the alignment, follow the instructions, and see what pops out at me this time. Okay, so I've had the radio running for a little while here to warm it up. My signal generator's operating over here. Let's sort of sweep the signal through the IF and see what we get. This is the output from the signal generator. And I'm coupling it to the antenna over here by holding it close. Okay. It should be 455 here. Turn that up a bit. Pretty good. Let's go down here just to be sure. Okay, come back up. Interesting, big hiss comes out of the radio as it picks this up. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, only watching the meter here. Uh-oh. What's happening? There's no movement. DC minus 15 volts. It's 1.5 now. Tiny movement. Okay, let me give it a little more. Oops. That's better. Okay, so the volume is up. That's full volume, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Okay, and our maximum point is right there. But right now my frequency counter is taking a break. It's lost its mind briefly. That'll come around in a moment. There we are. Oh, 422. Wow. That's surprising. I thought I could hear it better at 455. Oh my gosh. There's two distinct peaks here. This is the 455. Now I'm going to go down. There's another one. Okay. So that's 455 there. I'm going to turn the volume down so we don't listen to it. There we go. Okay. Now, try to make adjustments on the radio. It would look to me like one slug is way out still. And my little screwdriver. Let's see if this will fit. Okay. I don't know which one it is. So we might have to put the sweep on this to really sort this out. But let's just try this. Just take me a minute to get the screw to settle in. There it is. Okay, watching that meter. It's basically down either way. So it's not this one. I'll try this. The next one. Come on. There we are. Okay. Watching the meter. Nope, it's right at the peak. Okay, that's right on. Notice there's no oscillation happening. Okay, here we go. Watching the meter. This is the one, I think that was out. And we're going to turn down the signal strength here. It's maybe a little too low. One of these two it was. This one. Okay, so this one's at its peak now. So one slug was out, and I think maybe I had done that to quell the oscillation. I can't remember. But there's no oscillation now. Wow, that raises a lot of interesting questions. Was that oscillation because of the high here voltages? Okay, that's good. Well, time to listen to this radio and see what it picks up now. Last time it wouldn't pick up any station, but it picked up lots of noise and interference. Okay. Turn it up. Okay, tune the radio. It's pretty darn quiet. Turn it up here. Nothing. Nothing yet. Okay. I'm gonna set this to 590 here. Turn up the signal strength a lot. I'll try to transmit from here over to the loop that's over yonder on the radio. see if it'll go this far. 590. Okay, I can't notice it. Okay, put this close. The radio has to be able to pick it up. There it is. So that interference sound, the heterodyne, that could be from a real station. Let's see what we can hear. Don't fall over. I certainly don't hear any stations. My guess is that this antenna is not the original antenna. It's a pretty good notion. I just noticed blue circles, but none here. Continue. Well, that's on 590. We are aiming things. It's not going to pick it up. So we have an antenna adjustment. Just turn that down a bit. Okay, I'm going to turn the antenna adjustment over here. It seems to be making no difference. No difference. So I think, there's got to be a resonance between the coil here and the capacitor, but that resonance could be way off because this isn't connected correctly at all. So what to do? We'll try a wire antenna on it, because that's what I think it's really looking for, although it doesn't make sense. A clock radio hanging on the wall would have a wire antenna, but let's try it. And I'm going to have to run and turn this on, but let's try this. So I'm going to take the ground off. The radio seems happier already. I'm going to clip this. Oh, is that me? No. This just amazes me. So I'm going to use this to energize myself with the antenna. I'm going to stand over here and do it. I can barely hear it. Now I'm going to put my hand near the antenna. Magicians must have known about this. Okay, let's hook it up. Hook it up. I need a strain relief here. Everybody step back just a little bit. I have to go turn this antenna on. It's not even switched on. Let's get it down a little bit. Gee. I put that on, this meter went right over. Although it's all noise, there's a lot coming out of the IF now. Okay, again, this antenna is not actually connected, I don't think. It's tuned, even though it was tuned, it's tuned. Nothing worth talking about. Okay, let me stop for a minute. Just switch on that antenna. Well, I come back into my shop and I just took a look at the. Let me turn this down. The level meter for this recording. It's recording the level of my voice or indicating the level of my voice and the level of this. I'm going to show it to you on camera. Just watch what it's doing here. It's this green bar here. Hold still. Now if I talk, you see it jump up because I'm talking. And if I drop my microphones to nothing, it all goes away. The thing I want to show you is you just watch this. It goes. I don't know if I'm showing you anything. I don't know if that's something. It was much more distinct, it seemed, when I first came in, as if there's a sound in here I can't hear. That's what I thought. I don't know. Like, Jim, what are you looking for trouble for? You got enough trouble in front of you. More tricks with this antenna. So now the antenna is connected outdoors. I do have only one lead connected. This part is getting looser and looser here. Okay, nothing being received. I'll now attach the ground. There's another ground on here already, that's okay. Turn this up. Let's see if we get them now. No would be the answer. This loop is not important anymore. It's probably picking up noise and stuff. Let's just get this guy picking up. Tune the radio to 590 exactly. Huh. Come on. Really? I'm not going to respond at all. Okay, turn it down. Take the ground off. Turn it down too low. What's going on here? Just because I disconnected the loop, it's deaf? How can it be deaf? What happened to it here? There it is. Okay, sorry about that. So let me tune the signal generator to 590. That's 590. Max this out. That's it maxed. Okay, there is a radio station here. Anybody hear it? I sure as heck don't hear it. Okay, I got another trick up my sleeve here to try. Wow, okay, I've tried a bunch of stuff here, and it seems like, the best I can determine here is that this radio is picking up so much noise that it can't hear a signal. Now, does it make sense to me at all? It doesn't make sense, but that's my conclusion at this point. How did I reach that conclusion? So you can see the signal generator is operating there. It's 463 for some reason. You can see the output here on this wire. I'm going to spin the camera. I'm kind of trapped myself against my bench here with this. So this is my loop antenna we're looking at very closely with the camera. I can't space it out any further. The loop antenna is tuned. I have a tuning capacitor down there. It's tuned right now. And then I have this loop sitting here. It's just sitting here. It's powered by the signal generator. Signal generator is set to maximum. And my antenna here is tuned. I'll have to check this. So the antenna itself has a, kind of see a cable running on the floor behind there. It loops around. It's a fairly long cable and shows up here, where I have it connected to the antenna and to the ground. It's a loop antenna. It needs two connections to do its loopy thing. This is still attached, but it's just a piece of wire now. In fact, can't I ground it away into nothingness? Well, maybe not nothingness, but maybe that'll even reduce the effect, if there is any effect from that. So loop antenna driving this radio, tuned to 590. This radio, I did this off camera. The radio will not pick up a hint of a station, no matter what combination I do. Well, watch this. I don't know what to make of this. So we'll go down to 455. You can hear that. Let me turn this up just a wee bit. Okay. No surprise there. Let's just go up. Oh, let's first go down. Maybe there's a surprise down here. No. Okay, we'll go up. Starting from the IF, going up. .590, where the radio's tuned. This is stronger. Maybe that's where the radio's tuned. And it's picking up the signal in a series of locations. What is this telling me about this radio? It doesn't work. that's kind of the bottom line here. Okay, I got a whack of information in my head, but I don't know what to do with it. So I think I'm going to stop for a bit, let my brain work on it, and see what it comes up with. Okay. So giving this some thought. Now, my loop antenna, my trusty big loop antenna, which I put together out of junk when I was in college and have dragged it around with me ever since then. This thing here, not the tripod part, but this part here. Put together with just junk I had at the time, including broom handles. It has proven to be a pretty good antenna, and I've used it on quite a number of radios. But recently, on a couple radios, it has failed to perform. So I wonder, and part of the story is, I believe this radio needs that kind of antenna if it's going to work. And I believe it had that kind of antenna on the back of here, back of this, which is gone. And I believe this is not the right antenna, and I believe its connection is not correct either. So, but you would think, or I would think, hooking up my big loop antenna should bring this radio right to life. But it certainly didn't. Aside from the other observations about it somehow being sensitive at a series of different frequencies, I'm just demonstrating, I'm not going to pay attention to that right now. I think I need to verify my loop antenna really works. So that's what I'm going to turn my attention to. And what we're going to do is we're going to hook the loop antenna directly into my SDR here. So this is the SDR I'm using, a cheap little SDR. It's proven to be a handy thing in the shop here. Okay, just tightening that up. And I'm just going to connect my loop antenna right onto it. we're going to look at the response curve on the SDR and see what the loop antenna is really doing. Okay, this is the screen from my little SDR. This is showing the whole AM band, this area here, where the blue bar is. These are noise signals. You can see here all this stuff. This is interference patterns from maybe one device, maybe 20 devices in my house. Who knows what they are exactly. The radio, the SDR, is tuned to this frequency, 590, where I know there's a radio station that I can receive here. I regularly do. So we're going to listen to that frequency, and then I'm going to tune the antenna. So first let me show you what I mean by tuning the antenna. Oops, got no camera on. Yeah, let's just carry on here. So tuning the antenna means turning and adjusting the capacitor that I have connected to it. Just a tuning capacitor out of a radio. Okay, so this is the sort of distribution of reception, but this may reflect the signals that are available. Like this low point here may just be because that's the way it is. But I'm now going to tune the antenna and watch what happens. So I'm at one extreme here, and I'm tuning now. Tuning. There we go. I've hit the end of the road. So I've tuned the capacitor from one extreme to the other. Now we're going to listen to this. Before I put the sound on here from the SDR, we also have a switchable capacitor that will jump the range of the antenna, because the antenna's tuning range is smaller than the AM band. So I have an auxiliary capacitor. I'm going to click it in. And so what's happened is the resonant point has gone lower yet. So now I'm going to tune the antenna the other way. And if you look, you can see something happening. That's not quite what I was expecting. Now we're going to listen to the SDR while I do that.
As a parent in Ontario, I want my child to thrive in school. And I know that smaller class sizes make a big difference. When class sizes are too large, my child gets lost in the crowd. Smaller class sizes provide the dedicated attention.
Okay, we're going to call that tuned. The antenna now tuned properly to 590. I'm going to reconnect it to the other radio, and we'll see what we get. Okay, so I have a tuned loop antenna aimed properly and tuned properly for 590, hooked up to this radio. Oh, what's the story there? Oh, okay, what am I? Oh, it's okay. Where is it? What am I seeing here? Okay, it's just me. Never mind. A totally false observation of no consequence. Okay. Good show. So, turn this up. Now I turn. I hear his voice. Definitely.
If you're gonna go, say you're doing a drink, you're gonna do something a little bit wild.
didn't move at all? How come this didn't move? Definitely attracted. Move just the slightest amount. So this is a very low AVC voltage here. Just turn the radio down. Okay, so I had the volume up almost full to do that also. So that's another indication. Almost full volume. AVC hardly changing here. I'm on the 1.5 volt scale, so it's only 0.6 volts, going up to maybe 0.7. I mean, that's nothing. Jim, there's something wrong with this radio. I don't think it's near to working its normal self yet. And I'm running out of things that I can do to it. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what to do. Then I will stop for a minute. See if I can think something up. If I can't, I'll do something. Okay, a little coffee might have helped here. You know, I've never really completed the alignment process. I've done the IF, I've fiddled with the antenna adjustment, I've left the oscillator adjustment alone, basically because I'm not sure where this dial should be set. Well, I am sure. So I read in the instructions, 1600, which is here on the dial, is where this should be set. So it's not at the limit of the capacitor, it's at a setting, 1600. But look at this. The dial on the front of this thing moves without moving the capacitor. So is it right here? Is it right here? Now that's why I've left the oscillator alone. But it could be that the oscillator is not lining up properly at all. So what to do, what to do, what to do? I certainly know when the capacitor is totally open or totally closed. I know that. So I know what the limits, I know where the limits are in the capacitor. It says 1700 here. Somewhere in my documentation it's going to make a statement about the range of this radio. So just bear with me a minute. I'm just going to flip through here very quickly and see if I can spot where a range statement is made. Somewhere in here, going through each of the documents. And you know what? Doesn't seem to. I thought I read somewhere, but then I could be thinking of some other radio. Set the signal generator and receiver to 1600 kilocycles and adjust the oscillator trimmer C4A for maximum output. I want that done at 1600, but the radio receives 1700, so that's not the end of the run. I could do it right at 1700, but there's a reason why they're suggesting 1600. It's probably a better place to do it. Plus, 1700 is the very end of the run, and how can I tighten this up? Let's look into that question. How can we fix this? I'm not going to tighten it yet because I don't know where to tighten it. But what does it take to tighten it? What does it take? It takes... Looks like there's nothing. Looks like there's nothing to tighten it. It would look like a press fit of all things on here. Doing this is just making it looser. Uh-oh. Okay, we'll try this first. We'll say, okay, with the capacitor completely open, the radio is tuned to 1700. I do declare 1700. Okay, let's put the signal generator at 1700 and see what happens here. Go down here. Okay, we're in the range. I'm going to put this, what are we hooked up to here? We're still hooked up to the loop antenna. I don't want to use the big loop anymore, so we're going to remove the big loop. antenna off. We're going to reattach this ground here. And didn't I do it with a little clip? Here it is, right here. Okay. Turn the volume up. Oh, lots of volume here. Okay. Is it 1700? We don't know. Nothing. Okay, then put this. I didn't have this close enough. Put this over here. Now it's got to work. Way off. Way off. So about 1800 here. This is probably part of the reason why the radio's not working properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the SDR now to pick up the frequency of the local oscillator so we can see it and know what it is, and then we're in a position to do something useful here, I'm pretty sure. Okay, we got to stop for a minute here. Okay, so you can see the SDR on the screen, and right above it, right here, is the local oscillator frequency. Now to prove that, I will change the tuning of the radio a little bit. Now you can see it actually retune it. There, you can see it move. Now, I'm declaring this to be 1700, so it should be tuned to 1700 plus 455, which would be 2255. No, 2155. 2155. I'm so terrible. Let's try that again. You got 1700, 2155. Let's see where it really is here. Its actual location is 2249. So it really should be right around here, 2155. This is where it should be, right here. So I'm going to adjust the local oscillator and bring it down to where it should be. How did it get there? Got no idea. But first I'm going to do a sensitivity test. I'm going to actually adjust the antenna tuning part of the capacitor, not the local oscillator part. I'm going to watch what happens to the local oscillator. So I discovered a few radios ago, at least one radio I've done, adjusting the antenna tuning, moved the local oscillator around. What a mess. What a crazy mess that was. So I'm going to find out if this one does the same sort of thing. Okay, so I'm turning this, and the local oscillator is going, well, it's moving slightly. Okay. Put the capacitor into a fairly neutral position here. Now I'm going to adjust the local oscillator capacitor. I'm going to move it under that red line. Oh, it's tight as can be. Going on right here. Ooh, I need a bigger screwdriver to really jam this down. Come on, you can do it. Ooh, so hard. Why so hard? Why? Bingo, we got it. I got it. Ah, that's close. Okay, that's much better than it was. Now, did this bring up the tuning of the radio already? So we do need to adjust the antenna side of things now and get a little more sound out of here. So we should be able to tune 1700. There we are. Close enough. Okay, and now I'm going to try to use this. I'm going to adjust the antenna now. You can just watch this meter. I'm turning the... Now the antenna is set as a loop. Has another antenna laying right on top of it though. Here we go. Okay. So I've opened the capacitor right up. Nothing happened. There's no resonance here. I'm going to close it. If I can keep the screwdriver in it. Did it go up just a wee bit? Just a sec here. Having a heck of a time keeping the screwdriver in the screw. Looks like it's going to go up. Okay. This screw's also going down very tight. Whoops. Jeepers. Went up a bit. Now we're just about as tight as we can get it. It wants to go up, but I can't get it any tighter. Oh, I could have the camera like that. So I've been adjusting the two screws here. They're both slammed down tight. Of course, we think this loop antenna is not the right loop. This would be set up quite differently if it were. Let's move this out of here. Let's see if the radio works. Yeah, that would be a good idea now. Loop antenna connected. Okay, the volume is up about 30%, 40%. That's pretty good. Okay. Now, we'll tune this radio. Sounds good. Right down in the area where I know there's a station. Got a little quiet down here, didn't it? So I'm going to adjust this antenna screw again. The instructions are to do this at the other end, but it's not making any difference again. I don't think we're anywhere near resonance here. I'm going to tighten it back down. It doesn't make really any difference. Stand it up. Come on, just stand there, would you? You know what I might be able to do here is put some feet on it. Put some real feet on it. Hey, look at that. Fantastic. Now. Okay, so we want to try to pick up now 590 again. So we're going to tune the signal generator to 590. Okay, that's where it is now. Strong signal coming out on this loop. Put this loop over here. Just stay there. We don't hear it. It's not tuned. Ooh, how do you like that? Okay, I'm going to take away this loop antenna, tune this off. Come on, pick up a station. I can say I'm finished. Come on. Is this radio hopeless? Okay, I'm going to try something crazy here. I'm going to take my loop antenna and I'm going to hook the loop antenna up to this. So the loop antenna is powering this. It's kind of like a battle of the antennas. One's powering the other. The loop antenna will power this guy. And then I'm going to put this guy right near the real antenna. Okay, come on. Okay, I'm just adjusting the other antenna now. Not much happening. You hear that? Okay. Could be a very wide bandwidth coming into the radio, maybe because it's not limited by the antenna anymore. And the broad bandwidth is just letting too much crap in with the signal you're after. And you want the tuning curve, so stuff out here isn't heard. But if the tuning curve is like this, you hear it. So mouth open too big, too much noise coming in with the station. Really? Really? Is that really what's going on? Oh my gosh. It's taken a lot to make this guy produce this. Shame on me for doing this. Okay. I hear a bit of an oscillation. I don't know. Well, it didn't make much difference. Well, without the boost of the big loop antenna, that's what we get. We get silence. We get silence. Okay, I'm going to think about this. Yeah. In fact, I think I'm gonna stop at this point and give myself a day to think about this a little bit. Yeah, I think a lot of what's going on with this radio now is all about this antenna. So, is there something I can do with this antenna to make things work better than they do now? It's just a simple loop. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop here for today. So, thank you very much for watching. Things are getting a little hairy here at the very end. Trying to come to terms with the radio. Wow, a lot of work to get to a radio that nobody could use yet. It's useless. So thanks a lot for watching, and see you tomorrow.